Hey there, and welcome to episode 119 of the Unapologetic Mumpreneur podcast. If you are feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or like you are doing all of the things but not getting the results that you want in your business, you are going to want to listen to today's episode because in it I am chatting with the amazing Amber Cherelle, aligned business mentor and human design expert, all about how understanding your human design can completely change the way that you run your business. Join us as she shares how your human design type affects the way that you work, why some strategies work for you and some just don't, how to reduce overwhelm and make aligned decisions, the fears and conditioning that pull you out of alignment and how to stop them, and how by leaning into your human design, how you can create a smarter, more sustainable way to grow your business without all of the burnout. Ready to discover how understanding your energy, your decision-making style, and how you are naturally meant to work through the lens of human design can help you keep burnout at bay and create real momentum that lasts? Let's dive in. Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business, and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mumpreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mumpreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Okay. Hi, Amber, and welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here.
Me too. Really, really looking forward to everything that we are going to be diving into today, all about human design and how it can help us understand ourselves and the way that we work better, and particularly with business as well, and reducing all of the overwhelm and everything else. So, before we dive in, just in case anybody hasn't met you before, do you want to just share a little bit about you, what you do, your family, and your journey of how you've got to where you are now?
With pleasure. So, I guess I'll start at the top. I am a mum of three. I have three beautiful children who are, I was about to give you all of the wrong ages, by the way, 11, 10, and 5. And gosh, they will kick me for that. Anyway, regardless of their ages, they are keeping me on my toes. So I've been in the world of online business now since 2014, when my youngest was just a few months old. And literally, the reason that I stepped into the world of being an entrepreneur was because I was lonely, bored, and somebody said to me, "How about you start writing a blog?" And I was like, uh, I'm not sure. I could do that maybe. Okay, curious. And I began, and I thought nobody's going to read it. And they did. And then it just kind of took off from there. And so that was kind of like my entry point. I never planned on building a business, let alone helping people with their businesses, which is what I do now. So I'm an aligned business mentor. I particularly work with entrepreneurial mums. And essentially, what I do is to help you to grow and expand your businesses from a place of sustainability. And by sustainable, I mean both financially sustainable and energetically sustainable. The biggest thing for me is ensuring that you are not burning yourself into the ground, that you can continue to show up doing some of, reaching for your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, while still being present, patient, loving, and able to enjoy the time that you have with your family. And that really came about, that mission came about because at the time so I trained in emotional freedom technique, then trained as a hypnotherapist, and I was working with a lot of women to help them build their confidence, to move from a space of like anxiety or low self-esteem into feeling more confident to go after whatever it was they wanted in their lives, like literally anything. It had nothing to do with business. But what I found is that I was working with a lot of women in business. So a lot of the people that came to me wanted to build their confidence so that they could show up or be visible. And at the same time, during a lot of our sessions together, I'd also get the questions of how do you, you've got three children, I've only got one. How do you keep up? I can't keep up and I'm burning out and all of these sorts of things. And how do you like I see you everywhere. You're like all over the place. And so I just had all of these questions about how I was marketing, how I was selling, how I'd grown my business, how I was doing it and still well, and then supporting other people and all of those things that kind of led into this natural progression of business, just business mentoring, unpaid. And eventually, one of my clients said to me, I want to hire you as my business mentor. How much? And I was like, I don't know. It's not what I do. No idea. What do you mean? And so we just did. We just created something that worked for her. And I began coaching and mentoring her. And it was exceptional. And she had great results and she was really happy. And from there, I started taking on more business mentoring clients. And what happened is that some of them were absolutely thriving with everything that I was sharing with them, showing what I'd been doing. And I was really only teaching from experience, just from my own experience. And some of them weren't. And I wasn't happy with that because I didn't want to do something that I didn't know that was actually going to help people. That's never really been my thing. And so, coinciding with that, I discovered human design for myself. And human design for me, the first time I discovered it, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Now, at the time, I wasn't very spiritual. I knew about energy from the practice of EFT, but it wasn't my thing. It just wasn't, I wasn't a very woo woo kind of person, as they put it.
Mhm.
And so when people started talking to me about human design, I kind of like pushed it to the side. Yeah, no, not really bothered. But there was one woman, and her name's Shari Thompson, and I ended up going to train with her in human design business in the end. But the way she spoke about it, there's something in her enthusiasm, her energy, just all of it that got me deeply, deeply curious. And I started spending time with her. I started booking sessions with her, and all of these things. Anyway, fast forward, it opened up a whole new world for me, and I just fell in love with human design, and it helped me to see how we're all freaking different. And it also helped me to help all of those clients that I had, the ones that weren't thriving, to understand why not. Because they weren't meant to build a business in the same way as I did, that they weren't designed in the same way as I was. You know, most of those were projectors. So I went back to them with their human design and I was like, look, this is who you're designed to be, and this is why what you're doing is not working. So let's try this. And it changed the game. And so we went from, those three or four of my clients that really were struggling to applying their human design to their business, and it changed the game for them. And so that was kind of the moment I was like, there is more to this. It's not just for me. I'm not just enjoying human design. It's not just changing my life and the way that I show up in my business, but holy crap, look what it's done for my clients as well. So that in a nutshell, like in the shortest version possible, is how I got here to do what I do now.
Oh my goodness, amazing. I love that. So there's literally so much there that I would love to unpack with you. And it's brilliant. I had no idea that your business started out as a blog as well. That's exactly how what I'm doing now started out as well as a blog, and how it's like the evolution becomes to doing what we're doing now is just incredible. And that you then wanted to like tap into why was it working for some of your clients and not others, and digging into the human design aspect of it. And it's interesting that you said that there were projectors, because I've recently had a session with you, and that's changed everything for me because I'm a projector, and it's made so much sense. And even just the last few weeks that since I had that session with you and started applying some of it, it's changed so much for me. And it is like that light bulb going off. So I just cannot wait for you to just share everything today with everybody. So let's start at the beginning. What is human design then, and how can it help us understand ourselves and the way that we work better?
Oh, Sarah, just hearing you talk about like how much has changed in these past few weeks, I'm almost crying. Like there are
Oh,
tears.
bless you.
But hold on, don't cry on here. So what is human design? Like human design is a self-awareness system. Like in the let's start right at the beginning. So, human design literally combines both modern and ancient sciences, and I am an absolute science geek, so this is right down my street. But combines both of modern and ancient sciences to give us a holistic picture of who we were always designed to be, both energetically, physically, and all of the ways. So, we've got astrology, the I Ching, Bala, physiology, genetics. We've got the gene keys. We've got I'm thinking of what I haven't mentioned, quantum physics, basically all brought into this one system. And Ra Uru, who brought human design to the forefront, who channeled human design for us, basically, to me, it seems like the system where we don't discount anything. Nobody says, like, I only listen to modern day science. I'm totally all absorbed in the quantum realm. Only in astrology, I believe in astrology. It's like, what if we bring all of it together, the best and the best of it all? What do we get then? And so that was one of the first things that drew me to human design. And ultimately, what we do is we get your date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth. You need those three things to generate your human design chart. And when we generate your chart, you'll get this beautiful graphic picture that you'll receive for the first time and look at and go, what the does that mean? Because essentially, and it's the language, might have to cut that out. But what does that mean?
Right.
Essentially, you have got these shapes and colors and lines and numbers and symbols, and we just look at it and go, what? That picture that you receive is literally a representation of you. So every single center shape on that chart represents one of your energy centers in your body. And every single center has what is known as gates, and they are represented by the little numbers that you'll see. Every single gate also carries a different energetic frequency. The same with the channels, and the same with the planets that you'll see down the side. So we'll see our planetary alignment. In a nutshell, what all of this means is that each single part of your design, depending on whether you have it defined on your chart, which means it's colored in, or undefined where it's white, tells us something about you, who you were designed to be, how you were designed to use your energy, how you were designed to make decisions in your life. We can look at how you were designed to communicate. We can look at the messages that you're here to share. We can look at what drives you and motivates you and what doesn't. We can look at so many aspects. Like literally, there is not an aspect of your life that cannot be looked at through the lens of your human design. So, how this helps you in your business is that when you understand, first and foremost, your design type, which I'll write in a minute if Sarah gives me permission to, when we look at your design type, what we're looking at is how your aura was designed to interact in the world. And your auric field being the energy that both you have available to you to use, but also the energy that you give out to the world around you and how people receive that. Now, when we're working in alignment in our businesses with our design type, at a type level of our human design, what we experience is a greater capacity. In other words, there's more energy available to us to use for all of the things that we want to do, create, or accomplish. When we're operating out of alignment with our design type, we start to notice that our auric field shrinks, meaning that we have less energy capacity. So this is where we start to experience things like burnout, adrenal fatigue, frustration, anger, irritation, disappointment, like all of those things, all of those experiences that we don't want to have in our field, that literally come out from us being misaligned with how we were designed to move and operate in the world. Does that answer your question, Sarah?
Oh, amazing. That is such a fantastic description. Thank you for that. And it makes so much sense because now I know where I'm out of alignment and when to look for when things are in alignment and how I work and function. It's made so much sense and it really clicks. And it has this just incredible the difference it does make. So you mentioned the different types of human design, the different ones. Do you want to share what they are?
Yeah, so we have five design types in human design. Start off with our manifestors, and in brief, they're our leaders, our trailblazers. They are here to lead us in new directions, to bring about new ways of being. And they're not here to follow anybody or anything. They are literally here designed to follow the urge. They have the urge, and then they are here to initiate action. So there is a whole thing with the manifestors. It's about feeling the urge to do something, giving yourself permission and not seeking validation from anybody else to do the damn thing, informing people before you move, and then initiating. And the informing piece for the manifester is because you have a really close-knit auric field. You are self-initiated, which means that you don't need your auric field to be out there sensing the world around you and taking everything in, because it's literally coming from you. You are the starting point. And that auric field can sometimes feel to the outside world quite powerful when you move. Like when you move, when you decide to do something, decide to go and initiate us, it packs a punch. And so when you don't inform before you initiate, before you do the thing, we all go like, what just happened? Why did you do that? Where, like, blah, 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 what's going on? And so it can throw people off. And a lot of manifestors hold this conditioning of seeking permission because over their lifetime, the way people may have responded to them when they're doing things. You think of a child that just suddenly darts off in a different direction, like, where are you? What? Where are you going? Mum pulls you back in, shouts at you, like it's not safe. And we've all been there, we've all done it, I'm sure, at some point where it's just like fear kicks in and mummy bear protects you. But at the same time, the conditioning that can leave us with is that it's bad for us to follow our urges. We shouldn't just do the things that we want to do. We can end up with all of this conditioning. And so the manifestors can carry a conditioning around, I need to ask permission before I act, which is completely opposite to how they're designed to be. So that's one piece. Now, our generators, we have the generator. The generator, there are sacral beings. There are creators, are builders, they're here to just create and build. They are literally life force energy themselves. And we call them generators because they generate energy for everybody. They are that, we are the generators. That's all, the only way I can say it. And literally here to follow what lights you up, what is a hell yes for you. And it's not a hell yes from a place of excitement. It's literally a full body response, which I won't go into now because we'll be here forever. But there's a full body response that happens for the generator. But most importantly, it's like, do what you love to do what lights you up. And our sacral beings have this energy capacity where as long as they're in alignment with their design type, they can keep freaking going. You are powerhouses. And I'm a generator, so I'm a 4-1 generator in human design. And this is where I was tripping my clients up because I also have a defined roots and means like I'm built for action. And so the capacity that I had to do a lot, to sustain things for a really long time, and to be able to like execute a bazillion things in one day for a projector is just overwhelming, and it's going to lead them to burnout. To a manifestor, it's going to lead them to burnout. So like my clients are trying to keep up with my pace and my speed, and they're like, what? I can't do that. I don't have the capacity to do that. And I'm like, why not? Of course we can. Just do this and do this, and then you'll be fine. And it's like, no, I won't. No, I won't. So generators are our builders. Now, our manifesting generators, our third design type, our manifesting generators, we could say they're a hybrid between the manifestor and the generator. Our manigens, however, are still very much generator beings. They're very much governed by their sacral center. They do have consistent, reliable access to that sacral center. However, the difference here with the manigens is that they are multi-passionate. Generators, there'll be one thing that you'll go all and you'll be committed to that and passionate about that and obsessive about it for a really long time. And that might change over the course of your life what those things are, but you're really all in on like one thing. Whereas our manigens, you're multi-passionate, multifaceted. It's like everything and anything. You'll have loads of different things that you're interested in. And so you lead a very non-linear path and you move very fast compared to our generators. But you're still here to follow what lights you up and you're still here to create. Then we have our projectors, Sarah. Our projectors are our lighthouses, like they are our overseers, our guides. They are here to improve upon that which is already in existence. So if you see this is almost like a film being built before. The manifestor has this idea, they write this great play, the generators play it out on the stage and they create it and bring it to life. And the projectors are here almost to like direct it and say, oh no, hold on, we could do that better. We could change that bit, make it more efficient, or that would whatever it is. So you literally came here to help us improve and refine upon what's already in creation and in existence. And again, like I just mentioned, you do not have access to that consistent, reliable, sustainable sacral center. So it's so important that when you're using your energy as a projector, that you're not trying to keep up with the pace of the generators, and that you are actually building in a way that's sustainable for the amount of energy you have available, because you're not here to create all of the time, and that you have the right support as well. And with that, I will just say the projectors are here to wait for the invitation. You are here to deeply recognize yourselves, recognize your gifts, recognize what it is that you are fascinated by, and also your ability to fix or improve whatever it is you're called to fix and improve. You're not here to fix everything, by the way, not everything. That's not it. There'll be something very specific that you are here for. That's another conversation of conditioning. So, um, but you're designed to wait for the invitation, because you have this auric field that is very much like a unicorn horn. And that auric field is literally delving into the heart of things. You can see things that we can't. And sometimes it feels like you're light years ahead of other people, or like you can see things and why don't they understand? Why don't they get it? Why don't they see me? Nobody's listening to me. And there can be this like feeling of being misunderstood, or a sense of bitterness, like why them and not me? That comes up when we're not in alignment. So the first point of alignment for the projector is recognize yourself. You don't wait for anybody else to recognize you. You show up and you be the lighthouse, and then you allow the invitations to come in. So the first invitation is from you through your recognition. The next invitations are coming into you, and you move with that. And then finally, we have our reflectors, the most rarest design type of our collective. But the reflectors are super powerful because they have zero defined centers chart. And as it sounds like, they literally reflect back to us their experience of what it is we have all built. And so they are our mirrors, and their energy is very sampling. They're taking everything in and feeling into which aspects of this feel good, what don't feel good to me. They're feeling beings. They're feeling the experience of something. And they mirror that back out to us. Now, if you're a reflector, there's two things to know that are really important. The first thing is that your environments that you place yourself in, the people that you spend time with, the places that you go to, the information that you decide to take in and sense is really super important. The way it feels in your body will tell you a lot about whether it's right for you, correct for you, or not. And it's not feeling in the moment like the sacral beings, or like even the projectors or the manifestors who are very much in the moment of the experience. For the reflector, it's over a period of time. It's slowing down to take in life. And so we say for the projector, you're waiting for the lunar cycle. Now, that would be insane. You couldn't make your daily decisions about what to eat or where to market yourself. And those based on an entire 28-day cycle, you would never eat, right? Like you wouldn't do things. But it's not really about that. It's waiting until there's a consistency in the feeling that you're experiencing. And that will be where your knowing comes from, a consistent feeling over a period of time. For your bigger decisions, 28 days, a lunar cycle enables you to go through all of the changes that we have in that moon cycle that leads to a different energy experience in the field. And again, now I'm going really deep, so I'm going to stop there, Sarah.
No, that's great. I literally, we could talk about this all day, and I feel like we could do an episode on every single design. It's so interesting, and I've wanted to look at it for such a long time, and obviously only recently getting into it, and I'm hooked. And it's so fascinating and makes so much sense. And I'm sure those listening, there's probably elements of one or other of a design where somebody's probably thinking, oh my goodness, yes, that's me, or that makes sense. So yeah, definitely. And like just how you shared about the projector and how we show up and the waiting for the invitation was such a breakthrough for me. So it just makes incredible sense. So sticking with like the aligned decisions and using our energy sustainably, what does that look like in day to day for us in our businesses then? How does understanding our design actually help us reduce that overwhelm and make decisions that actually feel good?
Cool. I think this is a really important question, because decisions, the quality of your life, and this is something I deeply believe to be true, the quality of your life experience in all facets and the quality of your business is, you can't separate that from the quality of the decisions that you make. So every single decision that we make in our lives affects how we show up in our business. And every single decision that we make has an impact on what we create on the other side. And where most of us are taught to make our decisions from is from our head, the pro cons list. Why shouldn't I? Person says it's going to be good for me, so maybe I should trust them. And I don't trust that person, even though that what they're telling me sounds good and it feels good in my body, but I don't really know if I trust that person, so I'm not going to do it because I don't trust. There are so many different like ways we question our decisions that leads to more overwhelm in the first place. Second of all, when we give our power away, and this is what I talk a lot about in human design, is that where you're defined in your chart, pure potent power, that's your pearl of truth. That's what's always available to you. That's what you were born for. That's what you're here for. When we know our inner truth and we're following our inner compass and our aligned decision making process, we have safety and security in ourselves. We are in control of the decisions that we make in our lives. Therefore, we get to take responsibility for what we experience on the other side. And anything that we don't experience from the decisions, sorry, anything we don't like about our experience from the decisions we've made to date, we also know that we have the power to choose again, to change direction, to pivot, to move, to do something differently. Where most of us have been taught to make our decisions from is by giving our power away to external. So you think about like a decision that you had to make recently in your business. It could be any decision. Sarah, give me a decision that you've had to make in your business recently, just as an example.
Oh my goodness. Decision of whether or not I was finally actually going to host a local women in business bundle, whether to dive it all in. It was something that I've wanted to do for ages, and it was is this the right time? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? And I spent a long time umming and ahhing of whether, and again, the pros and cons list of whether I should do that.
Yeah. How much mental space did that like it took up as well?
It was exhausting. It was a lot of mental space, a lot of thinking, a lot of even laying awake at night, which is crazy. But yeah,
But it's not that crazy. I don't think we talk about this enough. How much sleep is important. We all know sleep is really freaking vital to us being healthy and alive and here and able to show up. And the things that keep us awake at night, you often get told this in marketing, right? Market to the things. What keeps your client, like your potential buyer, awake at night? What does your soulmate client, like what holds them up at night, right? We know that that is one of the most prize marketing pieces of information that you could have when talking to your audience for a reason, because the things that keep people up at night are the things that are actually diminishing their life experience, and they're the things that people want to have solved so that they can be free of the problem, be free of the pain, be free of the struggle and stress and strife. So we know that. So that like whether I should run an event or not, I'm going to bring this all together, tie it all together. I went off on a rabbit trail, bring myself back. That whether we should run an event or not takes up all of this mental energy and this mental space. Now, when you were thinking about running that, before we had our human design reading session, before all of those things happened, what kind of things did you do other than the pros and cons list to try and come to a decision?
whether it was something, I think the big decision for me was whether it was actually something that I wanted to do already before the opportunity arose, and was it something that I was thinking of doing, how it, whether or not it was in alignment with everything else that I wanted to do, or was it just a shiny squirrel object, because I've got a habit of chasing the shiny squirrels. And yeah, so it's a lot of, I did a lot of umming and ahhing and a lot of sitting on it for a very long time.
Was that just an internal process? Were you just talking to yourself, like, or did you have conversations with friends, family members? Did you
Um,
researching? What was your process?
Very much an internal one, I think. I know, and I know now since I've had my session with you that I need to sit on things and actually feel the feels and feel how I feel about things, and actually then trust whether, and try and tune into what was right for me instead of worrying about what other people think, which is ironic because that's exactly what my business is about, is helping people worry less about what other people think so they can design their business their way. Yeah, I was doing the
Yeah.
same. So yeah, interesting.
That's a whole other conversation on embodiment. I love that, Sarah. Love that. So that's one way that we make decisions. We go inwards and we forget that actually sometimes as well, it does help us to talk things out with other people, not because we want their, not for their validation, but also to hear what we say and to know how that feels in our body as we speak something out, whatever it might be. So everyone's designed for this process differently as well. That might not be your process. But so they're the kind of things that we do. We sit on it, we stew on it, we think about it. We write a pro cons list and we try to figure out which one weighs up, the heaviest, and they always seem to be about equal because you can find equal rights and equal wrongs for everything. Okay. We talk to friends and ask them what they think we should do. And rather than listening to how we feel or what our experience is within that conversation, actually listen to is their words and what they think we should do. We might ask mentors what they would do. We might ask, like, we go out there and we seek information. We might research what's the best way to do this, what's the best way to do that. So we go outside of ourselves for the answer, essentially, is what I'm saying. Or we shelter ourselves off. And both of those can be detrimental depending on your design. So when we give that power away to somebody else to make our decisions, we're now of what somebody else believes is right for us, good for us, wrong for us. Equally, when we try to make decisions internally just by ourselves from a logical mindset, just from mind alone, and we try to figure it out, what are we basing that information on? What we've been told, what we've heard, what we've experienced before, and how we have been conditioned over a lifetime to believe or think or perceive certain things. And what I can tell you from all working with the subconscious mind before I ever found human design is that not a single thing that you believe is ultimately true. Not a single thought you have ever had is true all of the time for everybody, like uncontested, doesn't change. There's no way to defy it, nothing. But when we think it, we create it for ourselves. And so one of my biggest things was always, how do we move past the conditioned mind when it comes to making decisions? And that's because human design, not a single one of us is designed to make our decisions from our head. Now, if you're a manifester, you're designed to follow the urge, inform and initiate. But there's also another part of your design that we have to look at when it comes to decision making, and that's your authority and your strategy. So your authority and your strategy in your human design tap you into what part of your body you're designed to connect with in order to make aligned decisions. And it's based on where you're defined. So I'm going to give one brief example. We don't have time to go into all of the authorities, but one brief example. If you are an emotional authority, you are somebody that has consistent, reliable energy access to the solar plexus, which is our emotional intelligence system. And the defined solar plexus, you guys experience something that is known as the emotional wave. And that emotional wave can look very different from different people. Sometimes it can be a slow build, it builds over time. Sometimes it can be spontaneous. It's like I felt this way in this moment, and 0.5 seconds I feel this way. And you're not designed to make your decisions on the height or low of one of those waves. You're designed to make your decisions when you have consistency in the emotion that you feel and experience. So this takes all logic out of it. We're not worried about what your mind thinks could be, should be, must do, might be right, might be wrong, might be good, might be bad. Like, we take all of that away and we come to the emotional landscape and we look at how do we feel about this, and not how did we feel when we first heard about it and we went from 0.1 to excited in 30 seconds and then realized tomorrow we don't really give a shit. We don't. It doesn't matter now. 24 hours later, I'm over it. Like, no, we're not gonna make our decisions at the height of the wave. We're gonna allow at least 24 hours to pass before we decide. And it's not about the time frame. What I really want to get across to you is it's about the consistency and the feeling, where over a period of time, the feeling about this thing has stayed the same. And if it feels good in my body, then yeah, I'm gonna move on it. If it doesn't feel good, I'm not gonna move on it. Now, that being said, that's just the authority piece. Your strategy also plays a role in your decision-making process. So if you were a generator with a sacral response, your strategy is to wait to respond, and you are an emotional authority, then you're going to have the sacral response. It's hell yes, full body feeling. And then I'm going to allow 24 hours to pass just for my emotions to come into calm and consistency. But I'm not going to decide based on the emotional field. I'm going to go back to when I ask myself, do I want to do this thing? Do I still have that full body sacral yes? If it's anything less than that, it's a no. If you are a splenic, no, we won't go splenic projector. No, we can go splenic projector. So a splenic projector has a splenic authority. The projector is designed to wait for an invitation. So it's not about you responding to the world. It's literally waiting for an invitation to come into you. The invitation comes in, how am I going to know if that invitation is correct for me to accept? I'm going to trust being authority. If I have a splenic authority, that's my instinct. And that's an immediate knowing that comes without logic. So you have to be very tuned into the now moment. There is no time frame that passes. It's like, in this moment, was it a yes or a no? And not because I said it, oh yeah, that will give me 500 leads, and out of those 500 leads, I'm bound to convert at least 5% of them, and blah blah. Like none of that. It's like I just knew it was right. You know those moments. That's for a splenic being. It's like I don't know how I knew, but I just know it's right. Or something feels off about this. Don't know what it is. That's your instinct. So again, your authority and your strategy is different for all of us. And knowing those things will help you to make aligned decisions where it's not based on your conditioned experience of life, but based on your body and soul truth.
Amazing. And once you know that, it's so incredibly powerful, isn't it? It's like that guiding compass of where to lean into and trust. It's just, you've mentioned conditioning a few times about holding us back. Do you want to just chat a little bit briefly about conditioning as well, about, the condition or the fears that can pull us out of alignment and how to stop them from doing that so that we can lean into who we are and how we're meant to work?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, it's incredibly powerful when we know that because we do come back to pure self-trust. And it takes, you mentioned overwhelm before, it takes that overwhelm of decision making away because I don't, like, I know exactly how I'm going to make this decision now. And I have evidence in my life for where I've made decisions like this in my past and how it's panned out. And I have evidence where I've completely bypassed that and made decisions from logic and how it hasn't panned, like where it's all just gone completely tits up. And so we take ourselves out of that overwhelm, we take ourselves back into complete trust, and we no longer question. It's another thing as well, because you make the decision, you start moving, and then you start questioning. And that questioning comes from what you just talked, Sarah, which is now the fear, the doubt, the conditioning that we carry, which will come to. So we start moving based off of fear. So we said yes in alignment, but then sometimes as you move, let's say Sarah goes to like she's like, yes, okay, I'm doing the event. I've organized it all. I send the emails out. And then she starts getting responses of people that want to be involved, and suddenly fear comes up. Maybe the fear is I can't manage all of this. Who was I to think that I could do this? I don't have the capacity. I don't know how to organize this. What was I thinking? There's so many people that want to do it now, and I don't have space for them all. And what if I have to say no to somebody? And I don't like disappointing people, and I don't want to say no to anybody, but I can't have everybody. And blah 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 blah. Right? We know how
Oh,
that's
goodness,
like.
yes.
Right? So we've said yes in alignment, we've moved in alignment, but now fears come up, or self doubt, or people pleasing, or all of these other things that we know can keep us small and limited. And so what happens is we slow down, or momentum slows down, or the actions that we do take, we don't take from a place of alignment. So we take the aligned action, but from a place of disempowerment rather than being empowered with it. And that energy is around us, it changes the way that we experience things. Ultimately, what conditioning is where we have definition in our chart, that's who we're designed to be. Where we are undefined in our chart, we are experiencing the world around us. That's how we interact with the world around us. We pick up energy, we put it down, we try it on, but it's designed to pass through us. We're designed to experience it and we're designed to let it go again. That's how it should work. But rather, what we tend to do is we experience it and then we hold on to it as if it's our own, as if it belongs to us, and we don't actually put those things down. So let's take the spleen that we were talking about for a moment. If you have an undefined spleen, the spleen is all to do with our intuition, our instinct, and it's to do with survival. The spleen is here for our survival. So we also have here fear is also housed in the spleen. Now, with an undefined spleen, you're going to be somebody that experiences and feels the fears of other people through a lifetime. So when you say yes to something from a place of alignment and then fear pours in, usually what we're witnessing is all the fear that we've picked up from various different experiences. I'm trying to like bring this to your example, Sarah, for a moment. So let's just say that fear is, oh my gosh, there's so many applications. I don't think I can manage all of this. What was I thinking? The fear of that is I don't think I have the capacity, that I don't think I'm the person to do this. What made me think that? I'm afraid I can't handle it, I guess is the core of that. I'm afraid I can't handle it. Where does that come from? What experiences have you had in your life where you've actually gone to do something big and you couldn't handle it? Or where have you seen other people have overwhelm? Like I'm thinking of my mom right now, who is running around with three jobs and like unable to like just keep up with daily life. And she'd come home and she'd be like, I just can't do the housework and go out and do all of this. It would all be within her because it felt like too much. So for her, that experience of taking on a big project, I can imagine the conditioning that would come up with there, as I've tried that before, raising three children and working three jobs. That was a big project and I can handle it. So that might be a conditioned experience. But rather than leaving it in the moment of that experience, we carry it with us. And so it comes up and it holds us back. And our role in that moment is to recognize that we're all carrying conditioning in some way. We're all carrying conditioning. There's nothing with that. And it gives us an opportunity to turn it into wisdom. So in that moment when fear comes up or conditioning, like we've got the undefined ajna, for example, the undefined ajna is literally searching for more information. Never feel like I don't have enough information. I need to know more and I need to try and figure it out. I need to make sense of it. I've got to figure it out. I've got to figure it out. I've got to figure it out. There's no sense of trust there. And so the mind is like either feels like there's nothing there when there's no one around, or it feels like there's a problem that they have to solve constantly, and there is no consistency with this, right? So that can be something that holds you back. The thing that you have to have it all figured out. So you don't take the first step. It's like I need to know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm going, how it's going to work. And that can be a piece of conditioning that we have. So the thing that we have to do is start creating awareness of who we're designed to be consistent, where we have these potentials for conditioning, and knowing that helps us for when they come up. This is where the self-awareness piece comes in, is that now we get to be aware of where are those things showing up for us. I have the potential to be conditioned in these ways. Where does that show up for me? Is it showing up now? Holy shit, yes, it is. And now I get to acknowledge, address that, do whatever I need to do to put that down. So for me, a lot of the time, I use the power of belief synergy. And belief synergy is a method that I devised years ago now, quite a while back, that I used to use with my hypnotherapy clients. And it literally takes us from looking at the belief, the thought, or the fear that we're holding on to, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and taking a really close look at it. So part of this process is going, okay, this is what I think or believe. I believe that if so many people sign up for this event, I'm not going to be able to manage it. I'm not like, if there's just three or four, it'd be fine, it'd be easy. But if we've got 50 people contributing to this bundle, which is need to make it successful, I can't manage that many people. I don't know how to do that. That's the fear. If I keep thinking or feeling that way, what am I going to experience? What outcome am I going to get? What am I going to create for myself? Stress, panic. I might just cancel this bundle altogether because I just don't think I can do it. Like all of these things, these are all the outcomes. In the middle of that, if that outcome happened, what would you make that mean about you? Because this is why we carry conditioning. It's not the fear itself, and it's not that outcome itself, it's what we make it mean about us. It's who we tell ourselves we are because of that. So with that, it might mean that I'm failing at business. And trust me, the mind makes up all kinds of crazy things. I wasn't meant to grow and expand my business. I was only meant to have a small business. I never I said I wanted a six-figure month, but I don't know. No, it's much easier for me to not we'll start to make it all kinds of things that it doesn't mean at all. So what are we making that mean about us? And that for me gives you this perspective to realize that if I keep thinking and feeling in this way and carrying this condition around with me, I'm going to experience this outcome. Do I want it? Probably not. And do I want to feel like this about myself? Holy hell no, that's not a state of empowerment. Does that look empowering? Does that feel empowering? No. Well, what kind of life and results am I going to create with that frequency? I'm not. So then we put all of that down, we shove it down to one side and we say, what would I believe instead? If I was in my full empowerment, if I was in my alignment with who I know myself to be, what then? What would I want to believe? That as a projector, I can bring on support to help me with this. I'm not doing this unsupported. There are systems and strategies and things that I can put into place to make this easier. I can streamline this and simplify it. I'm a projector. I can show you how to make it efficient and effective. I can do that. I can do that for myself. Let me put that into practice. Like, I totally in my recognition that that is my zone of genius. Let me freaking flip my zone of genius on my own business for a minute and let me work through that. And then I'll be in true embodiment of what I teach and I'll be showing up in truth and essence of whatever it is I teach, right? So we'd flip it all around and then we'd have a look. Well, if I think and feel that way, what's the outcome of that? Do I like that? Yes. Holy shit, yeah, that feels really good because now I'm going to actually do this thing and I'm going to simplify it. So it's going to be so much easier bring on support. So it's going to take me less time than I even think it will. And I'm going to look at all of the outcomes. And then I'm looking at what does that mean about me? That I'm powerful, that I'm capable, that I am a successful business owner, that I'm capable of doing big projects and big things with the right support. Like, what are all the things? Does that feel good? That feels pretty good. So, which one do we want to lean into? Which one do we want to choose? Now, that's the conscious part. But behind all of that is our subconscious mind going, yeah, I don't believe any of you that. You're talking absolute nonsense, right? How many times have you had that, Sarah, where you're like, I'm going to talk all positive to myself because I truly believe all of these things. And then, like, another voice comes up somewhere inside the inner critic that goes, yeah, what a load of
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, my brain's going, yep, as if, yep, totally.
So, like, that's the next part is recognizing that our conscious mind only and our conscious self only controls 5% of what we do. 5% of how we think, feel, and behave is controlled by the subconscious mind. And you cannot decondition on this journey through conscious behavior alone, unless, and I say this, unless you're willing to play the longest game of your life and you have absolute willpower and determination to mind the way you think, the way that you feel 24 hours a day with conscious effort. And that is possible. However, a lot of the population have an undefined will center. So if you have an undefined will center, consistent willpower isn't going to really be your thing. So you're going to really struggle to do that consistently, right? So we want to look at this 95%, the subconscious mind. And that's where the hypnotherapy comes in from my perspective, is where we actually start accessing the subconscious mind and changing the programming that we're walking around with subconsciously. This in turn doesn't just changes our logical mind, that changes the way that we think, it changes the way we feel, blah, 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 right? That's how I used to describe it. But I realize it changes our frequency because all energy is like it's changing form. So a thought is energy, our action is energy, the feeling you have is energy. So when we're looking at energetics through the lens of human design, it's not just what you business. I think a lot of us think our success is going to come from how much we do, what we do, when we do it, where we do it. Like, should I go to this networking event or that networking event? Should I speak on that stage or this stage? Should I get that person to endorse my book or that person? So none of that really matters. Not really. Energy, the energetics of what you're doing is more about who you be when you do what you. So if I'm walking from a state of overwhelm of ideas and inspiration from an open head center, like a lack of clarity and confusion from the ajna, disempowerment in the throat center, not knowing when to talk or knowing too much just to fill silences because I feel like I should say something. Identity, where I don't love myself, appreciate myself, don't see my gifts, don't trust in who I am and how I show up, or where I don't know what I value, I don't know where I'm going, I feel directionless, I question who I am. Or if I'm walking with somebody else's emotions, always afraid to say the wrong thing in case there's confrontation, or afraid someone's going to be upset with me or how they're going to feel. And so I start people pleasing. Perhaps I'm an undefined sacral being, and I think I need to be in constant doing all day to be worthy, to be valuable, to get paid. I've got to be in constant motion, creation, 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 because that's what I see other people doing. So I'm going to do the same and then I burn out. Or I've got an open spleen and I'm like, I've been told that I need to follow my intuition. People keep telling me, like this has happened where people in the spiritual world, which I love by the way, get told don't build a business based on strategy, build it on your intuition. Just follow your intuition, you will know. Someone with an undefined spleen doesn't have consistent, reliable energy access to their intuition. So tell me, how are they going to rely on that consistently to make their decisions? They have intuition, they have access to it, but it's not reliable, it's not consistent in the way that it presents itself. So they're all, like, how many times you go, I don't feel my intuition, I don't know what that feels like. Oh no, because it's never been consistent for you. Of course you don't. How are you going to rely on that? Yeah. So it's and again that then brings up all of the, which we already spoke about. And then we have the open undefined root center, which is about hustle, force, no trust in divine timing, ungrounded, floaty, you know. So we can have all of these experiences, all of this conditioning that when we don't like when we're what I was trying to say is that when we recognize that it's not just one thing, it's not just what we're doing, and it's not just what we said, and it's not just what we think about something, and it's not just how we do something, and it's not just the creative energy that we, like it's all of that. You are a whole holistic being, and it's who you be in all of those senses in your empowerment that creates momentum, that changes the world around you, that gives you the results that you're looking for in your business. So it just brings me back to, I'm going to shut up in a minute, Sarah, and let you talk. It brings me
No,
back
I
to
just, oh, so good.
be in that zone of knowing that you already know the strategies. You've done all the freaking trainings, you've done all of that stuff, and you're still stuck. If that's where you are right now, it's like no matter how many bloody marketing trainings I listen to, how many blueprints I download, how many templates I have in my back pocket, I've got like files coming out of my arse and I don't even know where they came from, and I haven't looked at that one since 2014, but maybe that will work this time. Maybe it's this time it will work. This time. It's like none of it's working because it was never about the thing. It was always about who you were when you did the thing. I believe it can work for all of us if it's aligned for us and if we're in our power when we move. Just let you take over. I don't even know if
Amazing.
I
Oh my
answered your
goodness.
question, Sarah, to be
No,
honest.
it was awesome. No, it's great because even just taking the conditioning and using it as wisdom, and then knowing that it is in with us when we move and how we are being in it, just using those when we're trying to make a decision and think about what we want to do things and whether it feels out of alignment or not. It's just that just helps so, so much. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I could chat with you about this all day. I really could. And we're going to have you back as another one. But before we wrap up, is there any just like one final wisdom nugget or something about everything you shared that would just really help somebody take right just one thing that they can take away and work on to help them just really tap in and understand themselves and the way they work?
And I think there's two. The first thing is get your human design chart because none of this is going to make any sense to you until you do. And you can do that for absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything to download your chart and discover your design type. I can pass the link over to Sarah for getting the chart from my website as well. But you can also just go over to Google and type in free human design chart and grab yours there. So it's up to you. Use the link or go over to Google. But my second thing would be, oh God, there's so much. Okay, the thing that I'm feeling called to share is this, which I haven't mentioned yet, so it feels like a last golden nugget. Think of your business as something that grows and evolves over a lifetime, and you will take so much stress and pressure off of yourself. When you look at your business as something that needs to bring you money at the end of this month, because otherwise you're not going to be able to pay X, Y, and Z, or you will have fallen short of this goal or that goal, you place a lot of stress and pressure on yourself. And that is the quickest way to dysregulate your nervous system. And then that is the quickest way for all of that conditioning to come to the surface and take control. Because once we're dysregulated, is the first thing we're going to step into is our disempowerment, the victim and the bully energy. When we take the pressure off and recognize that the only thing that I'm going for is like the vibe of better every day. I take one step forward every single day. I continue to grow every single day. My business continues to expand and to grow and to evolve and shift and change. There is no pressure there. So everything just becomes information. When the person that you were convinced was going to buy didn't buy, You don't go into a complete like, holy crap, it's never going to happen. Maybe I should give up kind of like vibe. You end up going, oh, that's interesting. That's more information. I wonder who will, who's next. And so we stop that growth and evolution over a lifetime for you and your business.
Amazing. I love that. And it does take away the pressure knowing that you don't have to have everything and have it all right now and everything else. That's just amazing. We will absolutely make sure that the human design chart for your link is in the show notes. So if you haven't had your human design done yet, go and get it done and go and find out, because then you can really tap into all of the amazingness and then come back and watch and listen to this again, and you can really dig in and see what comes up for you, because it's just so much there. Thank you so much for being so generous and sharing everything. I really, really appreciate it. And I know everyone listening is going to love it too. So I have one question that I always like to wrap up on that I ask all of my guests, and that is, what does being an unapologetic mompreneur mean to you, and how are you showing up unapologetically every day, both as a mum and as the boss of your business?
Such a delicious question. I think you asked me this question before, Sarah, and I have no idea what I wrote then, but I know what I'm going to say now. So let's see if it's both the same.
That's be interesting as well. Look.
What it means for me to be an unapologetic mompreneur is to remember that my needs, desires, wants, ambitions, and all of those things matter too. That I don't have to sacrifice one area of my life and the desires that I have there to also have the desires that, like, there is no sacrifice involved. I truly believe that you are meant to have everything it is that you want to have or experience in this lifetime, and it's only a matter of divine timing and when it's going to happen. And that you are doing everybody around you a disservice when you say, oh, I shouldn't do that because of guilt or shame, like I won't be there for my children. When you say, I want to actually spend this time to my children, but I should be doing this in my business, vice versa. Like when we start sacrificing one area of our life for another area of our life, that's not unapologetic. Unapologetic is going, I want this in I want this in my wealth, I want this in my business, I want this in this, and I'm having it all, and I'm going to have my cake and eat it too, and I'm going to be totally unapologetic about it. I'm going to be a great mom, I'm going to be a great businesswoman, I'm going to have ambitious goals that I go after, I'm going to be the fittest and healthiest I've ever been. And to allow yourself to do that again without pressure, this growth and evolution over a lifetime, but also being like, I get to have it all frequency, like I don't have to choose, I just need to know what I want. And that for me is unapologetic, and then honoring.
Awesome. I love that. I get to have it all. I'm going to have my cake and I'm going to eat it. I love it. Brilliant. Thank you so much. If you want to connect with you and find out more about you, obviously we'll have the links in the show notes, but do you just want to share where people can come and find you?
Absolutely. So come and find me over on Facebook or Instagram. They're the two places that I love to hang out the most. We also do, if you are a mum in business, which obviously you are because you're listening to this, then you can come and join us also inside the Limitless Mum Facebook community, which is our community hub. There's almost 600 women in there who are incredibly supportive of one another. So you can come and hang out and mingle in there. And I often do a lot of trainings and lives and things in there as well. So you can tap into that and find out a little bit more. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
Amazing. We will make sure that all of those links are in the show notes. Go and check out Amber. Go and say hello to her over on Instagram. Go and join her Facebook group because it's just absolutely amazing. And go and get your human design chart done. So thank you so much for being with us today, Amber, and sharing everything. We're going to have you back at some point. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. You're a superstar and I really enjoyed it. It's been fab. Thank you. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening and watching if you have been over on YouTube. And I look forward to chatting with you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mompreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.